Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the 2024 Lexus GX550. This is the Luxury Plus. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Charlotte for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This GX is finished off in Nebula Gray Pearl. MSRP is just over $86,000. Now underneath the hood, this is powered by the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. It's paired to the 10-speed automatic, and it pumps out 349 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the full-time four-wheel drive system, propelling this 5,500-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 109 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 21 gallons. You'll expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city, 21 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112 inches. Its overall length is 197. It has a width of 83, a height of 75.5, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.7 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling for this GX model, you'll notice there's a very slim set for the LEDs up front. The Lexus badge is also the forward-facing sensor, and this model is also equipped with the forward camera. There's plenty of cutouts too in that grille, where it still retains that hourglass design. However, there's no surround, so it's not quite as distinctive as previous models, which I think just gives it a really neat look. Now there's also fog lights down in the lower section, as well as parking sensors and a lot more cutouts to provide additional cooling as needed. There's also some really nice hood bulges on both sides too, to give it a great muscular look for this luxury SUV. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a really nice set of wheels with that two-tone design to them. There's also body-colored mirrors, which have a square shape to them. There's the camera and the turn signal mounted on them. This model is also equipped with the factory roof rack system, and it does have a full moonroof as well. And then as we take a step back, you'll notice there's a two-tone design. It comes from the front bumper, works its way in the lower side skirt there, and then there's really nice arches both for the front and rear fender flares there, as well as some nice lines that run down the side. There's also this divider right here, so this black trim accent that runs right through the bodywork. Up top, there's also the gloss black spoiler with the third brake light and the wiper blade. There's LEDs with the bar that runs right through that power liftgate as well. There's a backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then the GX in general can tow up to 9,000 pounds. Depending on the trim level, it's between 8 and 9,000 pounds. Now, as we work our way to the cargo space, what I like about the GX is you don't have to open up the entire power liftgate. If you have some smaller items and you just want to grab them real quick, you can open up just the glass, or you can open up the entire liftgate. Now you can use the button on the key fob. There's also a button up by the rear view mirror there, or you can just kick your foot over on this right side. So that is how you can do it that way. If your hands are full, you have the hands-free option. Now the GX is a 3-row SUV, aside from the Overtrail and Overtrail Plus, which do not have the third row. But when you have the third row up, not that much storage space behind it. You could maybe place some items if you wanted to, but then you can use these two controls here, as the third row is automatic, and you can fold the seats down, where you can see you have a lot more interior space. Now, we had a Lexus GX for a week, and personally, I would be leaving the third row down. I wish the third row was an option on all of the trim levels, but it would be nice to have every now and then. So you're really not going to buy this for a full 3-row. You just have them if you need to use them. And then you have the controls up top, or you can kick your foot to close that power liftgate there. Now, as we take a look at the second row, we have a really nice door panel. This model also has the power folding side steps there, so that way it makes it easier to enter and exit. We have the adjustable sunshades. There's also this really cool trim accent that matches the seats. There's the Mark Levinson audio, brushed and wood trim accents, and storage in the lower section. And then as we move to the interior, you have 3 different color options for the seats. So we have this two-tone look here, and we also have the optional captain's chairs. All of the GX models we have filmed so far have had the bench seat, so it's really cool to check out the captain's chairs here. So in front of us, we have a little bit of storage. These are also heated captain's chairs. You have your temperature, where you like the air to go, your fan speed, and then some auxiliaries are located down below that. And then as far as headroom goes, at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. Now it's worth noting these seats are fixed. They don't slide forwards or backwards. However, you do have the adjustment to recline them if you would like to. So you can get very comfortable in these seats, of course. They also have the adjustable armrest, so you can use that as needed. And then right in the middle, we have some cup holder storage and a little bit of storage behind that. So technically you could use this cut through in order to gain access to the third row. If you don't, however, all you need to do is pull on that recline lever. If you hold it, the seat will fold flat and then you can push it up from there. So that way that gives you a lot more space to hop into the third row. Now there's only 2 seats back here. They are power operating, so you can recline them. You have some auxiliaries, cup holders, and a little bit of storage there. You do have a decent amount of legroom. However, these seats are pretty low, so my knees are very high up. And at 5'10", I'm almost touching the headliner. I could ride around town. I have some vents up top to be a little comfortable. I could ride around town, mainly for smaller kids, and if you need to use the third row. So it's nice that they are there and functional if you need to use them. And then very quickly, you can fold and lock that seat back up. Now, as we work our way to the front door, we have all the window controls, side mirror adjustments, more of those trim accents, really nice layout, and then the power operating front seats. I think this two-tone is a really great look. Now, you do get a grab handle in all 4 corners, so that definitely makes it helpful. We have the solid steering wheel. We have the paddle shifters too, but let's start this up, where on the right side, we have cruise, distance pacing, you have tuning and mode, along with your lane keeping assist. On this left side, there's Bluetooth, volume, along with the arrows to go through the gauge cluster. So you can go through your 1, 2, and 3 settings here. If you hold on OK, this is how you can get through information in the middle, over on the right side here, and then same with the left. So you have those 3 shortcuts basically to pull up all this information. So depending on what you'd like to see, you can set 3 presets there, which is nice. And then over on the left side, there's the odometer as well as gauge cluster dimmers there. You have memory seating adjustments. If you push on this button right here, this is actually the park support brake. I learned that you have to have that off if you have a trailer hooked up, so that way you can actually put the vehicle and trailer into reverse. You have the lift gate along with the 12 volt outlet in the back, and then you do have the side steps. So you can have them on auto, you can push them out, or you can shut that off. There's 1 air vent. This is equipped with the head-up display, so it's showing miles per hour, what gear you're in, along with your steering assist and distance pacing. And then as we look at the infotainment system now, over on this left side, you have shortcuts. So you can get into your navigation, you can get into your music, along with your phone when you have that paired. This model is also equipped with the massaging front seats. So you can just tap on a seat and go through all of this information, depending on how you would like that to activate. You have driving assist, so you can go through all of these standard safety features. There's also your trip information, off-roading information if you choose to take this off the pavement, and then you have a few others along with all the general settings to set this up the way that you would like to. Underneath that, you have your heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. You can get into your climates here. You can also adjust the rears from up front, which I think is a really great option to have. So you can go through all this, even shut them off, and then you can come back to the fronts here. If you push on those squares there, you can get into some of these shortcuts here, so that way you can go through all of that. And then you also have your temperature dials, volume in the middle, fan speed, you have defrosters too. Now there's air vents underneath that, and then there's a 12 volt along with 2 USB-Cs. And then over on this left side, you'll notice we have the mode select. If you turn on this, you can go through the various driving modes from Eco to Comfort. There's also Normal, Sport S, Sport S Plus, and a Custom mode. You can also push on ECT second, which is the electronically controlled transmission. You can start off from second gear if you're towing or off-road. That is going to be very helpful. There's traction control and then a tow and haul mode. You do have 2 cup holders that you can hide away if you'd like. And then if we put this into reverse, you have that backup camera with the top-down view there. There's also drive, and then you can shift using the shifter or the paddles themselves. There's your auto hold and e-brake, and then you have your 4 low along with the center locking differential. Wireless charging is an option, and then the cool box is also an option. So you can throw some snacks in here and keep them refrigerated, which is very nice. You get storage in the glove box, as well as a small tray up top. And then this model also has the digital rear view mirror. So that way, instead of trying to look past all of those headrests, you have a clear view as to what's behind you. Garage door buttons are on one side, and then you have all these adjustments for that screen over on the right. There's dome lights up top, and then adjustments for the sunshade and the sunroof. And as you can tell, you can see that entire roof rack from inside. And then you also have a good bit of visibility over both shoulders. So as we set up now behind the wheel for the GX550, if you are new to our channel, we had a GX550 for a week, made a lot of content surrounding that, and we did quite a lot with this SUV while we had it for 7 days. And if you saw in that video as well, this is a big contender to replacing my wife's BMW X5. I really like the boxy style of this GX. I like what it has to offer. It's a really nice road tripping SUV as well. Not the most fuel efficient. So for the driving that we did over the week, it averaged, I think, 19 to 20, somewhere around there, maybe 21, which isn't bad, especially for the weight of this vehicle. But this is just a very nice vehicle. We used it to tow, we went to the mountains. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. And the Luxury Plus here is actually the spec that we would want to go with. We've never been able to see the captain's chairs in person, so now that I've seen them, I do like that versus the bench, and it has the massaging seats, which I know my wife would really enjoy. So basically, I am driving the spec, maybe not the color scheme, but the spec that we would potentially be looking to buy. And that's coming from someone who's never owned a Lexus. Now, I've owned a lot of Toyotas. I've never made the switch over to Lexus until the GX550 was released. This is just such a cool SUV, and judging by the off-roading that we did in the Toyota Land Cruiser, I'm assuming that this GX could be similar to that as far as taking it off the pavement. Now, the GX also has a huge following with the off-roading community. I've already seen lift kits for these. I have seen them lifted. You can throw on 35-inch tires with minimal rubbing or minimal trimming, if that. I've already seen high clearance aftermarket bumpers available, rear bumpers. You have a lot that you can do for this vehicle. Now, if you're buying this GX, you're not really hardcore off-roading a luxury vehicle like this. However, you can still buy this to do overlanding, so you can go camping with it. We have the roof rack up top. You can throw in extra cargo items. You can take this on a mountain biking trip, something like that. So you're not going through, you know, the deep moguls to go off-road and things like that, but you can take it off the pavement, and you have the technology features to really make it impressive in order to do that. So we even have the center lock just to give you a little bit more. Now, let's go ahead and throw this into Sport S Plus, and let's use these paddle shifters here, given an acceleration from second, where not only does it sound good, but it has plenty of power. It also has plenty of power for towing. Like I mentioned, we use this to tow roughly 6,000 pounds, which is far within its means of being able to tow, and it really didn't feel it. The vehicle didn't squat. There wasn't any unsettling motions with the vehicle. It felt pretty solid while towing. So we'll give it an acceleration just in the normal setting now. And without flinching, we're up to speed. The paddles are also pretty responsive. I don't know if I mentioned that, but paddles are responsive if you need to use them. Honestly, I didn't use them a whole lot. We drove through some mountains and some twisty roads where I did get to use them. And for its size and its weight, this is not a performance-oriented SUV, but honestly, it doesn't handle that bad. There's not a whole lot of body roll for the height of this SUV, and it handled well. It was definitely a smooth driving vehicle, especially on some twisty roads. But again, that's not its main purpose. It's just a really good road tripping SUV. One thing I will note, with the speeds that I've been going today, I haven't heard any whistling or humming from that roof rack. So however Lexus did it so far, it is sounding like you can't hear it. So that is definitely a plus. I've been in a lot of vehicles where you can hear the roof racks, and I really haven't heard it much to really complain about. So the GX is a sweet vehicle. Go back and take a look at our 1 week video with the GX that we had, just to get our impressions from that week, as that was several months ago by now. It's a very popular vehicle. A lot of people are upgrading. A lot of people who have never had a GX series, including myself. Lexus did a great job at bringing some new buyers to this market, because at some point next year, this will most likely be in my garage, and I can't wait to do like an overlanding build on this model. It's going to be my wife's vehicle, but I'm going to have fun lifting it and doing some of those within what she's comfortable with as well. But definitely a cool vehicle nonetheless. But that's going to wrap it up. I hope you all enjoyed today's review on the 2024 Lexus GX550. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Charlotte for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.